Hey Thrivers, you're listening to episode number 22. This week we are joined by special guest Juliana Tomlinson. She's a mom to a sweet 6-month-old boy and a well-known local wedding photographer.
Juliana came here from Brazil 10 years ago, expecting to be here for only a year, and after meeting the man of her dreams, she now calls Lancaster her home. We are so glad she decided to stay, and we can't wait to hear more about her personal journey.
From leaving the corporate world and becoming a photographer to her 5-year infertility struggle and becoming a mother to sweet baby Theo, Juliana has a heart for people and a beautiful story to share. Stay tuned for one of our best episodes yet.
Welcome to The Thrive, a podcast for working moms. This is for all the women and moms listening. If you work from home, in an office, run your own business, or are the CEO of your family, this podcast is for you. Because at the end of the day, all moms are working moms. Rachel and Christine invite you to celebrate the victories, get advice, listen to their mom fails, and to know you aren't alone, to thrive in your everyday life.
This episode is brought to you by Fearfully and Wonderfully 139, on-site hairstyling and makeup by Tiffany Buckwalter. Whether you're in need of a professional makeup artist for your big day or you simply want to look your best for family photos or a special event, Tiffany can meet you on location and help you look your best. She offers both hair and makeup services, and I can tell you from my personal experience, she is the bomb. Hi everyone, this is Rachel.
And Christine.
We are so excited for you to be joining us again this week, and we are really excited to have with us a guest that we met, a couple months ago now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is a local photographer, such a strong woman, just a great friend that we're lucky to have on the show tonight. Her name is Juliana Tomlinson. So welcome.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be here.
And just before we go any further, Juliana has a background in radio, so this is totally up her alley.
I hope I don't mess up.
No. Oh my gosh. We just did a live on Facebook and you already did great. So we're really excited to just have someone fresh and new for you guys to listen to this week. And not only does Juliana do photography, but she's a new mom, and I feel like she just has so much great stuff to share. She has a really great story, so we're going to get into that in a little bit, but I want to talk about favorite things. We were talking about not just like products and things, but just fun things we've started enjoying with our kids or our families, because I think that when you have toddlers, they change so quickly. Mm-hmm. So like one thing that you liked one week might not even work again the next week.
Yes, I see that with Nora. I guess one of my favorite things, like you're saying, Rachel, of her changing now, she loves to feed herself food. So we were just at the mall today and I was like, oh, Nora probably needs pretzels. And I've never bought any. Is that what it is in the mall?
Yeah.
I've never gotten those pretzels, but I bought a little small thing of it, and I sat and shared pretzels with Nora, and she wanted to feed herself because that's her thing. And we just sat and watched people at the mall, and I shared my food with her, and it was so sweet. Like I feel
it was like a date.
It was a date. Oh, I love her.
So did you just do like the bites or
Yeah, the bites. Because they put them in a cup. And then I was like, can I put that in a bag? And so I could just carry the bag. And we ate a few. And we actually stopped by Robert's hiring office right now for Wegmans. Is in the mall. And so we saw him. And then I gave him the extra pretzels. So nice. It was a treat for all.
My girls like the little hot dog bites, like the little ones of hot dogs. And they are a great duo because Reagan only eats the hot dogs out of them. And Rowan just likes the pretzel part. So it's perfect.
See, that girl is after my own heart, carbs. I know. I love that.
What about you, Juliana? Do you have a favorite thing?
Well, recently, we've been even joking. We love to go to Mott Pizza. And my husband and I have been joking that one day we're going to walk in and we're going to see the Juliana, the Greg, like the flavors at the wall. So yes, we've been really enjoying going to Mott Pizza together, just choosing our favorite. And
had you gone to a Mott Pizza before the one that came in Lancaster?
No.
Okay,
no.
I hadn't either. I didn't know if you had known the chain before.
No, but I am a carb and pizza fan. so as soon as I saw like pizza, I was like, let me take a look, and then I didn't. It surprised me. It's like Chipotle for pizza. So
that's exactly how I explained
That's a good way to put it.
What's your favorite kind of pizza?
Well, I like to do with the salami.
She's like, let me tell you. I've been there a few times.
The Juliana.
What is the Juliana? Let me write this down.
The Juliana. Red sauce, mozzarella cheese, and then I just add salami, and then tomatoes, a little bit of onions, the garlic cloves. Is that how you say it, right? Garlic cloves?
Yeah.
So garlic cloves and a little bit of rosemary and Asiago on top.
Oh.
And as soon as you get out, that you can do the drizzles,
Yes.
I do the basil. Basil, I think. Yeah, the green one. It's the
Okay.
basil drizzle.
Pesto? Maybe.
Yes.
They
That's
might
the
have
drizzle.
both.
Yes, that's
Okay.
the drizzle. Yep.
That sounds good.
That's
That
the
sounds really
Juliana.
good.
Oh my gosh, my mouth is boring me.
The last time I went, we got
She's
Nora.
gonna stop on the way
No.
home.
You bet.
Let's go right now. Podcast on the road. We went and got, quote unquote, Nora a thing of breadsticks because I wanted them. But she, loved her bread, but just watching her pick it apart and eat it herself was really fun.
That's awesome.
What is your
gosh.
favorite thing, Rachel?
Well, my favorite thing is like a thing we've started doing more as a family. We took our bikes with us and we went down to the beach for like the week that we were there. And the girls, like, Kyle pulls them in, like, we have one of those, like, pull behind little carriage things.
Yeah.
And they sit next to each other, and sometimes they fight. One time Rowan bit Reagan. But, you know what? We
Sometimes
think
you
they
gotta
love
bite
it.
people.
I think they love it. And at least I love it. Kyle really enjoys biking, and it's just been really fun to, like, get out, because when we were dating, we would go to the gym a lot together. And then, honestly, I think we had a family membership at the Nook for a short period of time, and then I just never was able to make it with a baby.
Yeah.
Like, we even did it at the Nook because they have a really great childcare thing. You don't have to pay anything extra for it. Like, with your family membership, it's included. But he canceled mine because he's like, you just don't even use this.
You've been canceled.
So it was nice, though. Like, I felt like, I don't know, just, like, working out together, sort of. Even though we weren't really doing it to work out, but just to, like, do something
An
fun.
activity together.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. Like, I feel like we haven't done that kind of thing in a while. So I enjoy that. And we did, we haven't set it up yet, but Reagan, our oldest, is at the age where she doesn't always like sitting in, like, the pull behind. And they do get antsy, and so sometimes they don't get along. Even though I'm like, here's snacks. Like, they ride in style. Like, they have their snacks and drinks and toys. But we got her, it's called, like, a tandem bike. So it's actually it's like one wheel, and then it, like, they sit on it and it has handlebars just like a regular bike. But then instead of having, like, a front tire, it attaches to, like, your adult bike. So it's kind of like turning your adult bike into a bicycle built for two, but the one on the back is little. Yeah. So we haven't set it up yet, but my dad found it at a yard sale, and it was like a Trek, which is like a really good brand. So yeah, so I'm excited for, like, our next bike ride to see if it's better, like, having them separate.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'll have to do Reagan, though. Like, she'll have to come with me. I don't want to pull the carriage. It's very heavy.
No.
So Kyle can do that.
Well, you're just going to elevate your working out now. Try it in your neighborhood first, just like once around the block. I like how you shared your new thing is riding a bike, and Juliana and I are over here eating carbs. Priorities.
This is so that I can continue to eat my carbs. And it's funny, I'm, like, rolling my eyes when you mentioned, like, taking the thing for a test around my neighborhood, because that's what I did with, like, the pull behind.
Yeah.
2 years ago, and that's how I broke my arms.
Oh, no. So maybe just, like, up and down your street real quick.
Yeah, maybe just my driveway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come to my house. We're almost neighbors. So.
Yeah, I could. I really could. I really didn't go much further than that. Like, I was just in our neighborhood, like, trying this thing out, and Rowan, I was pregnant with her at the time. So it was just Reagan in the back, and maybe I'm just an accident-prone person, but took a little spill. It's like the most embarrassing thing. I broke my arm, and, like, my bike was extra heavy because with the weight of, like, the little, like, the 2-seater thing behind me.
Oh wait, and you were pregnant?
Yes, I was also pregnant. Not far along. I was just, like, starting my second trimester. But yeah, with, like, the weight of everything on me, and my arm being broken, I couldn't, like, get up because I couldn't push up off. Like, I had nothing to push my. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just felt so pathetic. I laid in the street and was like, help. Thank the Lord we have, like, a quiet neighborhood. And silver lining, you know whose house I crashed in front of? These people that the wife was a doctor and the husband was an EMT. So they, like,
you're protected.
Yeah, it couldn't have been any better. They helped me, and Reagan was totally fine.
I need you to back up. So you're in the street.
Yes, I was in
laying
the street.
like under a bike. Your baby daughter is in the carrier.
Yeah, she's
and
in
you
like
are
the
yelling,
behind.
"Help!"
I honestly am surprised I didn't pass out because I was like very lightheaded.
Yes.
And I don't really remember that clearly, but yes, I just remember being like, ugh, like you're like feeling how like, oh my gosh, the wind was knocked on me. It totally worked out. And just being like, can someone help me?
So they heard you, this
Well,
doctor
I
family.
think there was kids outside that probably saw it happen.
Okay. Like
And
some
then-
lady just took a spill.
Yeah, so from there was like a few people very quickly, and they called my husband because I didn't even have my phone on me. I was literally like, I'm gonna go test this thing. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, you're like, active pregnant lady, here we go. I can do it. Come
And
on,
then he
pregnant.
gets a phone call like 5 minutes later, like, I think your wife had an accident.
Oh, luckily you knew his phone number because nowadays it's just like a touch of a button. Sometimes like I don't even know the person's number anymore.
Do you know like the one I know?
Well, I memorized his in purpose because of that. Because I didn't. We've been married for 7 years and I just memorized his number last year.
Oh, Robert knew mine, and he was offended that I didn't know his. So I think right before we got married, I had to know his phone number. Because that's true. The only phone number I know is my parents' landline in New Jersey. I don't even really know their cell phones.
Oh, I don't know my parents' cell phones either, but I do still know my home.
Yeah. And it will always be home in my phone.
Right.
Yes, mine's still in
I
their
always
home
say
too.
coming back home.
Oh.
Yes, I always say that too.
Well, speaking of home, Juliana, why don't you share with everyone a little bit about your story and how you got to Lancaster? Because you're not from Lancaster.
No, as you may have noticed, I do have an accent. I am from Brazil. I'm originally from Rio de Janeiro, born and raised there. I came to the United States 10 years ago. When I signed up for the program called Au Pair, which is a student exchange program, not necessarily to go to school like college, but you come to the United States, you live with the host family, you take care of their kids, and in exchange, they pay English classes for you. So I was taking ESL, which means English as a second language, and working 45 hours as a childcare provider and living with them. So that's how I came to the United States. That was 10 years ago. I cannot wrap my mind around it. I got here. The youngest one in the family was 18 months. The middle child was 3, and the oldest was 8, and she's just going off to college.
Oh my gosh.
I still
You raised them well.
Are you like Facebook friends with her now?
Oh, we are friends. Like I call them my family.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I always think
How
it's weird
special.
though when like kids that I babysat, like one of them is like friends with me on Instagram, and I'm like, what?
What happened?
I'm like, you're a baby, but
I know.
It
You
is
blink and they're
weird.
going to college. I feel like it's so crazy because I feel like so connected and emotionally connected to them.
Yeah.
And I think I will forever.
that's really cool.
But when I
Yeah.
see like she's going to college, this pretty young lady that was a child like correcting me because I didn't know how to say refrigerator. So she's going to college. It's crazy. I just love them to pieces.
Well, and what a gift for you to come and not know people here, but to be with this family now that has
Absolutely.
become so special to
Oh,
you.
absolutely. I am a very faith person, so I prayed for this family before I came to the United States, and I wanted to be with a family that would accept me as I am, and also like that I would be able to make an impact on those kids' lives, because when I came, I was only coming to stay for a year, so I never planned to stay here forever. So I wanted to come and live with a family that would add to my life, and I could also impact their lives, and I think that's exactly what happened. I still call them family. They treat me as such.
That's so cool.
They were in my wedding. They were my flower girls. My host parents were in our wedding party as well, so they were like groomsmen and bridesmaid, and I feel like so blessed to have them in my family. So
And that is really special that you made such a great match, because I feel like there's other people that probably do that program, and like depending on who you're matched with, it's more of like, this is just we're having you here because this is a job that we need to fill. And it sounds like just as much as you wanted to feel like a part of their family, they were like warm and welcoming you.
Yes, and it was very important. Like as you know, like I'm from Rio de Janeiro, and it's extremely warm, like weather. The weather, it's hot, and and in Pennsylvania,
kind of like it's been the past few weeks, though.
Yeah,
is this what it feels like?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes,
it's been warm.
And in Pennsylvania, you know, it's not that hot. So after a few months, I did have a chance to renew the program and go to a different house and go to California, but I just couldn't go anywhere else because I love this family. I don't like the winter. Seeing the snow for the first time was amazing, but after seeing once, I was like, I'm done. So when, you know, it was time to renew the program, and then I could have been, you know, I could have go to California or Florida, but it was like, nope, I'm not leaving the family behind. And it happened that after being here in the United States with them for 8 months, my dad passed away, and they were the solid ground for me. Like, they were amazing, fantastic, and I think they were already all of this, but that was, I think, a mark on our relationship that shifted everything.
And go through something like that, it definitely can be like the glue that like kind of binds you more.
And the host mom went through some stuff as well, and then it was my time to return. I don't see them as host families. I see them as family. Yeah. So it's great. I love them.
There is a bug flying.
Oh, yes. Oh, there is. Oh, it went away.
Anyway, behind the scenes. So you decided to not stay with the au pair program, but that you stayed around where you had been living, and then you continued to go to school?
Yes. What happened is when I came, I was already 23. So a little behind on the college situation. And I thought, even though I was older and I didn't have my degree yet, because I wanted to be an international journalist. My dream was to cover the war. Call me crazy.
No, that's so cool.
So I was like, I don't care. I'm going to pause my college, go to the United States, learn English, so I can come back and cover the war. Go become this international journalist that I wanted to be.
Was Brazil at war?
No, I wanted to be a journalist that traveled the world and go to war zones to cover war stories.
I'm thinking in my head, like, am I like really out of the loop?
No,
like I didn't know about the Brazilian war.
The war.
We kind of have a civil war going on right now, but not really. But I would call that, because unfortunately Brazil, like, if you are seeing the news, like, it's a little dangerous right now. But that's not the war. No. That wouldn't be it.
The wars.
That is cool, though. So you would want to be in, like, conflict zones and stuff.
Yes,
that's awesome.
I really wanted to pack and go. I love traveling. I love cultures. I love languages. So that's what I wanted to do. I was in school for journalism. So I decided to stop. And the only program that I could afford, actually, was the au pair program. So... the bugs are still around.
Trying to kill the bug.
I killed it, guys.
All right, good.
Yep,
leave it there.
You got it.
It was a mosquito. It had to be killed.
Yeah, thank you.
So I came as an au pair, and I paused the school to come. So after 1 year, I became aware of the opportunity to actually transfer my credits and finish school here. So I talked to my host parents, and I said, well, I would love to stay. We have such a great relationship, but only if I could stay as a student, because I'm already behind. I really need to get back to school. So they said, yep, let's do it. So they sponsored me. They sent me letters. I went back to Brazil, and then I reapplied for a visa there. And then I was approved, and I came back. And I stayed a year and a half more with them.
So were you still watching the kids?
Yes.
And then you were also doing school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But then it wasn't official, you know what I mean? It was more like a family relationship by then. Yes, and then when I decided to go back to Brazil, because remember the blizzard we had in 2010 that we were like snowed in for several days, like snow up to the waist.
Yeah, that was soon after I moved here.
Jeez, that was the worst for me.
You're like, what am I doing here?
I'm literally home.
Literally, I bought my tickets. I told them, like, I can't do this anymore. It's way too cold. I'm done. We bought our tickets. That was February. April came around, with the warmth of spring, just spring flowers everywhere. I was like, I would love to stay. I changed my mind. So they said, yes, that's okay. We canceled my ticket. And then 1 week after that, I met Greg. So,
oh my goodness.
I guess it was meant to be.
So can you tell us how you met Greg?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's a funny story because I was going to church on Monday night to a prayer meeting with my old ladies. That's how I call them because there was nobody my age. They were like 60, 70 years old. And then they were all talking about like grandkids and their families. And I was, feeling left out. So I told them, would you mind praying for me so I can find the one? I decided to stop dating until I have a relationship that I can commit to. And then on Wednesday, I met Greg through the young adult group at church. And at first, I didn't like him. I was like, he's the cutest guy in the room, but I don't think so. And then yes, we met on a young adult group at church, and then we became friends. I was like, oh, this guy is so sweet. He's just like, he's cute and sweet. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, we met at church.
Oh, that's cool. And did you date a long time before getting married?
No. We met on April of 2010. Yes, April 2010. And he proposed on April of 2011. And then we got married in October of 2011.
Okay.
So it was quick.
I thought you were going to be like, we met on Wednesday. and
Yeah.
the next Tuesday.
No.
Okay.
I do call that quick.
That's pretty good though.
mean,
So you dated a year, I
year.
think is great though. I
And
think
we
a
planned
year
a
is
wedding
like
6
not
months.
too long, not too short.
Yeah.
I did the quick wedding planning too.
You did too? Okay. I thought it was crazy.
No,
It did feel a little crazy, but to be honest, I felt like doing it quick. It like made you make decisions.
Yes.
Like I didn't have the time to like go visit 86 venues or taste a whole bunch of cakes.
Yeah.
I was able to be like, okay, well these are my top few. Let's do it and let's get it done. And if I felt evenly about a few things, it came down to like, well, who's available, who can get it done on time. And so it kind of made it a little easier than like when you plan so far in advance, you have a lot more options.
Well, and I always said that I didn't get engaged to be engaged. I got engaged to be married. So if I had my way, I probably would have... We were engaged for 11 months. I probably would have gotten married... No, 10 months. Sooner than that because I just wanted to be married. I was like, all right, let's move on with this next part of our lives.
Yeah.
That was me too. I dreamed about being a married woman and a mother, like since I can remember.
Yeah.
Like since I was a little girl.
So did your family... So your whole family is still in Brazil, but
Yes.
for your wedding, did they make the trip?
My mom did.
Okay.
My dad had already passed away, so my mom came and she walked me down the aisle.
Oh, that's
So,
so
that
special.
that was special, yeah.
What does your mom think when she's here visiting you in America of like where you live and everything?
Well, she loves it, but everything is so different, especially from Rio de Janeiro. Down south, we have more like the European influence in the south because of the Germans and the Italians immigration.
South in America?
South in Brazil.
Brazil. Okay. I was
Yes.
like Florida or...
South of Brazil. I'm sorry.
okay.
So they do have more the European feel, but not in Rio de Janeiro. So coming from Rio to the United States, I read a big shock. To Pennsylvania in the winter. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh, she came in the winter?
Oh yeah, all the
man.
time. Well, she came once in the fall for my wedding because it was an October wedding, and then she came for my graduation, and now when we had a baby. So both last times were like winter. So it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, she loves though. She does.
She loves you and she loves your family. She's
Yeah.
like, the snow.
She loves it. I think like when you're on leave,
Yeah.
you know, like it's fun to visit. It's fun to change. So I think that's a fun thing. Oh my gosh, she was playing outside like a kid with no angel. Yeah, and I was 39 weeks pregnant, like taking pictures, like you know.
Oh my gosh, that's so
I
fun.
love you.
So when did you get into your business?
Oh, this is a fun. Well, I grew up like loving cameras, loving everything. Like my dad had a video camera that I loved to play, and a picture camera too. Like on my stepsister baptism, I was only 11, and I was the one taking the pictures.
Oh wow!
So, but I never thought about that as a profession. Never. I actually grew up thinking I was going to be a doctor.
Or a traveling journalist.
Yes, covering the war.
That's correct.
So that's led you all to be a photographer for weddings.
Well, then I had this passion, but then I went to school for journalism. That's what I went to school for, and I just loved everything video production. So when I changed my credits to here, to the United States, they didn't have the journalism classes exactly how we had in Brazil. So I had to choose journalism and something. So I chose TV and studio production, which I love. So because of the studio production thing, I didn't have the money to buy a video camera. And then my professor said, why don't you get a photography DSLR so you can actually play with the features. So whenever you have the money to get the video camera, you have the skills. And I fell in love with photography. I was like, I don't want to do videos. I want to do photography. Perfect. So it worked out. So that was 2012 when I started officially with my business. But it wasn't until my wedding day. Actually, that was my gift. I asked Greg, I want a camera. So we got a camera for our honeymoon. So we took the camera to the honeymoon for our honeymoon. And I took some pictures there, and I was like, you know what? I like this. Why don't I make this into a business? So that's how it all started. That's kind of cool. Like oopsie, but
yeah. So you were married, then this was your honeymoon. You were already going to then come and live in Lancaster, and then that's when your business kind of was born and began.
I was already in Lancaster. I moved to Lancaster 3 months before my wedding. No, a month before my wedding, and I was living with my mother-in-law. So for our wedding, I asked him, that was 2011. I asked him for the camera. So I took to the honeymoon and I took pictures and it turned out okay. Very, very nice. I was like, oh, I really like this. Because remember, I was still trying to learn like the video skills of it. It wasn't until a little later that I was like, why am I trying? You know? Yeah. So I fell in love with photography. And then in 2012 was when I decided to just make the jump and let's do this. Let's do this professionally.
But you were still working full-time somewhere else.
Yes. I started working for a corporation a few months before I started working with photography. Okay. So I got married in October. I think I started working. And then I started working for this corporation in 2012. April of 2012. And I started my business in September of 2012.
You're very good at remembering dates and I can't.
Sometimes.
I'm just impressed with that. Like, I think it was within these years.
I know.
Sometimes, not always.
Well, that's awesome. And I can't wait to hear more about what happened next in your story from what you've told us. It took some time to have your son, and then after that happened, things changed.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we'll be right back in just a second. Last week, Christine and I talked all about self-care and how wonderful it felt to be pampered by local makeup artist Tiffany Buckwalter of Fearfully and Wonderfully 139. It's seriously no wonder that she is sought after by brides throughout the Lancaster area because this girl made us feel so pretty and relaxed on a day that was humid and stressful as we tried to coordinate our photo shoot downtown. Tiffany specializes in special occasion hair and makeup, and her goal is to help her clients outwardly express their inner beauty. She was inspired by Psalm 139, and she believes that every woman deserves to know that she's a unique, marvelous wonder, lovingly created by God Himself. It's her goal to help you see yourself in that way and recognize your true beauty, which is something that Tiffany is just so talented at. She made us feel pampered, she made us feel special, and in addition to hair and makeup for weddings and events, Tiffany is also going to be hosting makeup workshops this year to help you with the skills that you need to look your best every day. To book Tiffany for your next event or to find out about her upcoming workshops and events, visit fearfullyandwonderfully139.com, or you can find her on Instagram at fearfullyandwonderfully139. She shares photos of her work and she does such an amazing job. So Juliana, you mentioned in our Facebook Live that you quit your corporate job to stay home with your son. So can you tell us about that transition and how all of that came to play?
Yes. I worked for this corporation for 6 years, and I was already working as a photographer, but doing both full-time. Mm-hmm. And then I did have plans to one day bring my business to a full-time and just live off of this, but I never had the courage to just do it. I was always so scared that we couldn't make the money. Yeah. And then once I got pregnant, that was it. That was what I have to do it, because I don't care if I'm going to make the same money or we're going to have to adjust, because I am legitimately stepping down to stay with Theo. So I'm not doing this for the business, even though that's what I love. I'm doing this for Theo. So I resigned. Yes, I came back for a week. And no, not even a week. Like 3 days, I was like, I can't do this.
Right.
I can't do this.
After you made that decision and it was done, how did you feel when you said, I'm not going to stay in this corporate job?
To be completely honest, if somebody who I worked with is listening to this podcast, I love the opportunity. I really loved everything that I learned there. I grew as a woman. I grew as a businesswoman. But I was done. It was a suffocating place to be. I was completely overwhelmed. I really didn't like to be there anymore. It was getting to a toxic place.
Yeah.
So I felt amazing.
And your life situation
awesome.
was changing and your passions were changing.
Yes.
And that happens. Like, people go through seasons and it doesn't mean where you left was not good anymore. It's just not good for you anymore.
Exactly.
So,
and that was exactly how I was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I cannot be here and not give my 100% anymore.
yes.
So I had to step down. And then
Good for you.
as soon as I turned off that computer on that day, seriously, it was weird not to get up and do something. Like, I love putting makeup on. I love doing my hair. I love dressing up. Now I'm like, okay, I'm not dressing up anymore. You know what I mean?
Pants.
Yeah.
I love that about summer, that I don't have to put makeup on or have nice clothes on because during the school year.
And I miss my friends too, because we did have a good team of friends there that I, to share life with. So now it gets a little harder. But it was pretty good to step down and say, okay, I'm doing this for my son. I do not have to rush in the morning. You have no idea how much I appreciate working moms because it's hard to be a mother. I worked with kids before, but I was not their mother. It is hard. So I can only imagine how it is to leave your child and go to work. Even though I am a working mom as well, I just say, I'm not a stay-home mom. I am a work-at-home mom.
Yeah.
But I'm there.
Hashtag WAHM.
Yeah.
There you go. So it does feel good. I am tired. I've been working more hours than I worked for a corporation, but I am the happiest I have ever been.
That's
it's
so
not
cool.
easy, but I'm happy.
That's awesome. And you have a really special bond with your son because you've mentioned he is quite a miracle baby.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Theo is our miracle baby. We've waited for him for 5.5 years, over half of a decade. For him, we wanted to get pregnant right away, so we tried on a wedding night, and it didn't happen. We went through doctors and more doctors, and pretty much every doctor said it's never gonna happen. So why don't you just give up?
Oh my gosh,
and you had mentioned that
that is so tough.
they had said something about maybe IVF,
Yes.
but because you're Catholic, that wasn't really an option for you,
Yes.
which I had never even thought of.
We're Catholics and we take our faith very seriously. One thing that we learned is that obedience is the key to the heaven, right? You have to be obedient to the elders and to the church. So we believe in that. So it was very hard because being a mom was what I wanted for my entire life. Like, as a child, I used to play putting pillows under my shirt. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a mommy. So having that conflict, what I want the most and what my church is telling me not to do, and if I did, I would possibly get what I wanted the most, it was very hard. So very hard. I cannot take credit for it. It was totally like the grace of the Lord through me, because it's hard sometimes when some doctors say, if you do IVF, you're going to get what you've dreamed the most, and you're going to say, well, no, thanks. It was hard. So we didn't go through that route because of our faith, but we tried IUI.
What's that?
It's an in vitro fertilization. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a, oh my goodness, I'm blanking for what that means.
IUI.
Yes, that is intrauterine insemination.
Oh.
So instead, why the church is against IVF is because we believe that it's a manipulation of life, right? We get like a sperm, not trying to get into bioethics here, but you create life outside of the womb, you manipulate life.
Yeah,
so
I can see that argument. I kind of wondered what the church thought about that, but I never
and also
have known someone in your situation and never come up in conversation.
Right. And also, like, you create, like, whenever you do IVF, you create, like, 18 embryos. And we believe that life starts at conception, right? So you have life in the Petri dish that either goes to the freezer or goes to the trash. Or, you know, like, you don't have... Those are precious lives. So that's why the church... I apologize. I'm not here to create any polemic.
This
controversy.
This is interesting because I feel like there are celebrities that have spoken out about this. I think, isn't it like Eva Longoria? No. The one that's from the show, Modern Family?
Yes.
Sofia Vergara. Doesn't she have like a lawsuit with an ex or something because they had...
Oh, I don't know.
I know I've heard about it in like the celebrity world. There's been some issues with these people. I mean, many of them end up divorced, and some of them have done IVF or something, and then they have these lawsuits over like, well, what do we do with the embryos?
Exactly, because those are lives.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Yeah,
they are lives.
And there's a lot of laws that protect those lives now, but you still, like, some are donated to research, and then you just like playing with life, playing as God. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much why.
Yeah.
And with the IUI, on the other hand, you can collect the sperm in the way that the church teaches us, and then you bring to the lab, and then they just inseminate further down. So because our problem was because my husband, the sperm didn't have the strength to swim, or they were perfect to inseminate the eggs. So with the IUI, our chances increased a little bit because then the sperm was closer to the egg. So that was it. And it was still up to God to create the life inside of me. Some people argue the same thing, like it's still up to God for the embryos to work on the Petri dish. Well, but it's faith. I'm not here to...
And I think too, Juliana, like what you're saying, such an important message is that you and your husband knew what you believed was right and what was good for you. And that was like your driving force, even with doctors saying this, or maybe friends or family. You knew, like, for you and Greg, this is what you felt good with, what you trusted the Lord was doing, and that's what you did. And that's so important.
And I do have a lot of friends, they are from different denominations that the church says it's okay, and they still, like, the Lord still called them not to do IVF. So this is a personal decision. So there was a personal decision. That was a route that we were not comfortable to take. And we were just trusting, and every time in prayer people were saying, like, you're gonna have a baby, and I was like, okay. I was excited for the longest time. By the last 6 months before I got pregnant, I have to be completely honest, I was not doubting God, but I was doubting his love for me. I was like, why you not give me what I want the most? I'd be faithful to you. Like he owes me anything, right? It doesn't. Everything's a favor from him. Anyway. And then we didn't go to Brazil the year prior because of Zika.
Oh, right.
And we were trying. So I was like, we're not going to go, blah, blah, blah. So in 2017, it was like, I don't care. Let's go. I just miss my family. Let's just go. It's not going to happen. So let's just go. And we conceived there.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
You had to go home.
I did have to go home. Mama's house.
God was like, no, you just gotta go home. See your mama.
Well, she's going to Brazil again, so maybe number 2 will be coming.
Joked about it. And Theo was a completely miracle. Like, we were not doing any intervention, nothing. And God did it. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, thank you for sharing and being so open and honest. That's wonderful to hear your journey.
I just feel like it's my mission now to bring hope to other families, because I remember how miserable it was to go to sleep crying at night and believing that, you know, the Lord forgot about me or stuff like that, because it's a roller coaster of emotions. So I just want to uplift, if you're listening and you have, you know, any fertility problems, or any problems per se, like, you know.
Yeah.
It happens. The Lord didn't forgive you. Didn't forget you. So.
Now, when you find out, like, you were pregnant, did you not just fall over? Did you start?
I know. What happened?
Literally.
You did.
I did.
You just, oh, man. Was Greg there right with you, or did you get to go tell him?
Well, what happened is, after 5.5 years waiting, pretty much every month I took a pregnancy test.
Yeah.
And then I would see the no, and then my body would relax, and I would get my period. And then I did that for that month. Like before, I was late for 2 days, not expecting anything. I did the test, didn't even look, put it away. When I glanced at, you know, and you look twice.
Yeah.
And of course, Greg was not with me because we're not expecting to be pregnant.
Yeah.
So he was in the living room. I grabbed the task and I ran so fast that I tripled. I tripped in the hallway and I fell. He was like, "What's going on?" And I was screaming like there was like zombies.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
Yes, but I was not screaming because I was too excited. I was screaming because in my mind that was wrong. The task was wrong and it was playing games with my mind. So it was almost 10 o'clock and I was like, we have to go to the pharmacy, get another test. He's like, take the other one that came in the box. I was like, no, it's the entire thing.
Individually wrapped?
Yes, they are.
Oh my gosh.
In my mind, how is it locked? The entire box of those were wrong. It was no, go to the pharmacy. This is the digital. You're going to get those with the 2 lines. Mm-hmm. So it was positive, and then I was like, oh my gosh, in shock.
That's amazing.
That was so
cool. And now you have
this
this beautiful little baby boy who is so precious.
He's really cute.
Yeah.
So cute. And I'm not just saying that because you're like a friend and you're on our show. He's really cute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Follow her on Instagram, not just to see all of her beautiful photos, but to see her adorable little baby and your handsome husband. You guys are just the cutest family.
Thank you so much.
So your business is definitely booming. You've been so busy. I see on your Instagram your beautiful, gorgeous photos of weddings and obviously like your baby and your family. What is that like now being this working mom? I mean, obviously being the mom is what you always dreamed of, but with this really successful business, what is that all like for you?
Life has changed, that's for sure. And I'm happy, working a lot, as you said, it's growing, and I'm so thankful for it because I dreamed to be at this position for so long. I'm still not where I want to be, and I hope I'm never there because I don't want to settle, right? So it's been
fun.
That.
We were just at a women's event last night where she said something about like once you meet one goal, you're already looking to the next.
That's
so she said enjoy that journey because that's. Once you get there, you're going to say, okay, what's my next goal? So that's exactly what you're doing. Let me enjoy.
So we connected. Yeah. So now I'm like working on improving my experience. The difference for me, it's not to only create beautiful pictures. I want my clients to have the experience. So that's what I'm working right now. Like, perfecting my brand because brands, as you, Rachel, may know, it's not only a logo, right?
Right.
So that's what I've been working on right now. And of course, growing my clientele and getting there. I'm getting there.
And so you mainly shoot weddings, is that correct?
I do. I started my business 6 years ago, actually. But it wasn't until this year that I went full-time, and it wasn't until this year that I decided to focus on weddings only. Cool. It's what I love the most. I used to say that I am in love with love. I am such a romantic person.
When you were just talking about Greg a little bit ago, your face was lighting up. Like you, just remembering that you had such love in your eyes. So
that's so good to hear.
That makes sense.
So I was like, what? If I am taking the time away from Theo, I have to, oh my God, I'm tearing up. Is that for real?
Oh, that's okay.
You're not the first one to do this in the podcast.
I was like, if I am taking the time away from Theo, it has to be for something that I am pumped up, something that I am loving to do, so
amen.
I don't feel like, let me do this again. And the couples I serve, they would be hurting. I would be hurting. So I decided to just focus on weddings, and that's why I did what I did. Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming you've probably done weddings like all over the area, but I was going to ask, do you have like a favorite venue that you enjoy working with?
Ooh, that's hard.
Because some of the places that I see in your Instagram, I'm like, I've never seen that place before. Yeah. There was one that was like a castle, looked like a castle.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, where is there a castle in this area? Like,
it's not. It's in Doylestown. Okay. I have a sweet couple. They are from Doylestown, but they live in Lancaster, so they booked me here in Lancaster. But I suggest to my couples, like, when you are going to choose a place for your engagement session, choose something that means something to you, because you're going to look back to those pictures and you're going to remember the feeling. Because that's for me what is most important. I want them to feel something when they look back to those pictures. So they chose to go back to Doylestown, and that's where the castle is.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
You go above and beyond for your clients.
I try. I try. But yeah, that was cool. But it's so hard to pick one favorite venue. So let me say my favorite feature in the venue. Whatever has lots of natural light. I'm all about those natural light and neutral colors. So that's what I like. For some people, this is blah and boring. For me, it sounds more like timeless. Sometimes.
I do notice that in your photos, but I love it. It just is such a cool look that you have to your photos.
Yeah, I feel like it helps like the flowers and like the colorful things then to really pop.
Right. And also, like, when I chose the theme for my wedding, I went with whatever was popular at the time.
Yeah.
So now they don't even match with my house. So my pictures are black and white because they don't match my house. And also, to create something timeless, you have to think like, you know, the colors, everything that's going to play like 10 years from now. Yeah. So that's what I like to create. I like to create something that is joyful, bright, and that's what I like, and something that is timeless. So people, you know, telling the story for your grandkids someday, and it's not going to feel outdated.
Well, you definitely have done that.
I try.
And so if anyone listening is getting married or thinking about wedding photography, do you have any good words of wisdom for people that are starting that process?
What I would say, first and foremost, choose something that means something to you. Because sometimes I have couples to just following the flow, you know, like I'm going with the flow. Oh, this is popular nowadays, so I'm going to choose this. I did some of that too. So when you choose something that is good to you, makes you feel good, you're going to look to your pictures or whatever memories you have of that day with so much joy. And that's number one. Number two is to not get too stressed. Like, I'm a wedding photographer. I know how it goes, like with wedding planning. It gets crazy sometimes. One thing that I like to say to my couples is that I am the photographer that cares a lot more about marriage than the wedding day. Even though I'm there for only their wedding day, I want to make sure that nothing for them on their wedding day is stressful, so they can start marriage in the right place. Makes any sense?
Yeah.
Makes sense? Okay.
You're in the right position in your career. This is amazing.
Because I was so stressed on my wedding day. It wasn't wasn't because I was running late, Christine.
I didn't say that.
I know, but I just know where your brain might have gone.
No.
I mean, anyone that knows me
was
probably thinking like, well, were you running late?
No, I was just like, oh, I wasn't stressed, but
Well, I was like just really nervous for some reason all of a sudden.
What's a big deal?
It is a big deal. And like I remember like everyone was ready. We were like downstairs in this one room at the church that like we had to kind of finish up. Like we had done all of our getting ready at like the salon, but I think we put our dresses on there. And so ready to go. I had my whole big huge dress on, and they literally were walking in like the mothers of like the groom and my mom, the grandparents, whatever, you know, they were starting the wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go. I will be totally honest, because we do a lot of TMI on this show. I like when I get nervous, it goes right to my gut.
Yep.
And I had to like nervous poop. I was like, get this dress off of me. I need to poop. I can't do this. I can't get down the aisle.
So
like
you went
this.
to the bathroom?
My best friend, oh my gosh, I don't see her as much anymore as I used to, but she was my maid of honor. My friend Kristen was like, it's okay, we're gonna do it. She had to come like into the bathroom stall with me to hold my dress up. I was like so sick to my stomach. And they're like, Rachel, like we need to go. Like,
you're like, no, I need to go.
I understand. So my brother-in-law had come down. He was kind of like just coordinating everything at the church for us to make sure that like people came in on time and all that. And he's like, Rachel, like the bridesmaids need to go. And I was like, you can't take Kristen. She's helping me.
He's like, play the music.
Apparently they just played like the one song a few times. And Kyle told me he was getting a little nervous. Like, well, where is she?
Did she give up?
But it's all good. It turned out just fine. I looked even skinnier in my dress. I felt so nervous. I had like nothing in me. Like I couldn't really eat that whole day.
That's so Rachel needed someone to tell her, relax.
I needed that.
That's what I do. Like, I have a plan before the wedding day. I have like steps that I've created to make the process seamless. So most of my couples now book me like with a year in advance. That's way too long. So I like to have steps that I can help them through the process. So my goal on the wedding day, I do not have to ask them who is Uncle Bob, who is Aunt Sarah, who do you want pictures with, who you don't.
Yeah.
So About 6 weeks, 6 weeks before the wedding, I sent them a questionnaire, like a very long questionnaire with lots of questions, and specific questions too about who you want pictures with, and then I helped them to create this timeline. So the wedding day, I know the name of the uncles, the siblings, the parents, everyone.
So, yeah.
So my goal is for the wedding day, if the bride needs to poop, she can go right because it's not gonna be stressed. I just want my couples to have fun. It's the most important day, in their life so far. If they are anything like me, they dreamed about this day forever. So I don't want to ruin that. I want to actually create this experience that they're gonna, oh my gosh, that was the best day of my life. I don't want them to look at their picture and say, oh, yeah, my dress was cute. No, I want them to remember, oh, I felt such a princess on my wedding dress. Something like that, I want the feelings to surface much more than only beautiful pictures.
I love, speaking of dresses, I think I was about to ask if there's one thing that you would do different to your own weddings.
Ooh,
and I already thought of mine because as you were mentioning dresses, I wish I had invested in, or I think you probably get them on Etsy, or somebody had gotten me as a gift. I would tell my mom I want one if I was getting married again. When I renew my vows, I'll get one, guys. The hanger for the dress that has your name. Or Mrs. or something. I
have one that says Mrs. Campbell you can borrow.
Oh, well, thanks. No. It's just never going to work for me. No. But, I would love to have one of those because I didn't get, pictures with my dress like that. I have a few of my dress hanging up and, the staged candid zipping it up. And we zipped it up a few times.
Yeah.
But, that's one of, the little detail shots that I, would love to have.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things. Especially now that I'm in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen so many beautiful things that I was like, I
can't do it. If you had to pick one thing you'd do different.
I would pick a different dress, probably. I loved my dress. There's a picture of it. But
it's so pretty.
It was not what I thought I wanted. And so I feel like it never felt right. So, which I feel really first world problems saying that. Because it was gorgeous. I loved where I got it. I loved when I got it.
I wanted a special hanger. Well, you don't have to feel like first world.
But it's it is still so beautiful. So,
Yeah, I think I would say that too. I loved my dress. Loved my dress. But there was another one that I was equally loving in the store.
Yeah.
And sometimes I closed my eyes, I was like, I think I should have went with the other one. But if I had, legitimately, one thing, I think I would change the color of the bridesmaid's dress.
What color were they?
Brown. I was so much into brown.
Yeah, I want to
brown
see
and cream.
Yeah, because I feel like it can be really pretty.
It was pretty, but as I was explaining before, it was very trendy. So I don't feel like it was timeless. It represented what I was back then. I was so much into the browns and creams. So it was me back then, but not anymore. So I wish it was timeless. So that,
What color would be timeless?
I would say more like a champagne or a very light pink or blush, because those
that's very you.
Yes, it is very me. Not very bright pink, because that's trendy as well.
Yeah,
I feel like
I did a bright coral, and they made for pretty pops of color, pretty pictures.
Yes.
But I really like the champagne.
Yeah.
And I really like when I see pictures now and they all have slightly different dresses.
That's pretty, isn't it?
That's what I do.
My last wedding, they just had that. My husband was like, why do you have different colors? I was like, ooh, this is nice. This is nice.
Yeah.
I told all my bridesmaids to get a navy blue lace dress. And I didn't care what it looked like.
Oh, wow.
At all. Because I know I was in a wedding once where I didn't feel totally confident in the dress, because I felt really self-conscious that my body type was different than some of the other bridesmaids, and so I wanted everyone to feel just as special. So I was like, you pick whatever dress you feel the best in,
cool.
or fits your budget. I know one of my bridesmaids, I think, already had the dress. I was like, even more perfect. You wear that blue lace dress you already have.
That's awesome.
So
I let mine pick the same. We went to the bridal shop and they picked the same designer, same color, same fabric, and they were allowed to pick some of their necklines were different.
I've done that too.
Some of them had short, some of them like wanted longer ones. And that was great too because like you said, budget. Like I didn't want them all to have to pay a ton of money. So one of my friends, and it was funny because she was my tallest bridesmaid, she actually played volleyball with me in college. So when I say tallest, she wasn't like 5'8". She was like 6'1". And so she wanted a long like maxi style dress, and she was so tall, she had to add fabric to the bottom of hers. And I was like, can't we just like arrange it that like one of the girls that needs theirs hemmed donate it to you?
Borrow the fabric.
Because my other friend Liz is like tiny. She's like 5 foot tall. And she also wanted like a maxi style dress and had the complete opposite issue. But I mean, the longer dresses like obviously cost a little bit more, and that was okay with them. And then my sisters, who were both pregnant at the time, were like, I don't even know what to get. I don't know what size I'm going to be. My sister Emily was like, I don't even know if I'm going to have my baby or not. Because she had her baby, ended up having my nephew a week and a half before my wedding. So we found a seamstress that was able to take the zippers out of the backs of their dresses. They ordered, I think they each just ordered bigger. And she took their zippers out and put in like a panel and then like a corset. It was amazing. Wow. That way they could like adjust them. That's so brilliant. From the front, like in some of the dancing pictures you can see it, but from the front in all of my photos, like you can't tell at all.
That's good.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah. Go sisters.
So you've got pregnant bridesmaids. There you go.
Little trick. Wedding tip.
Yeah.
Well, Juliana, thank you so much for sharing advice and stories and your passion.
Thank you.
Your clients are all so lucky to have you.
Thank you.
I bet you give them just the most incredible service.
Thank you. I thank you both, ladies. It was fun. Thank you so much for allowing me to share everything and come on the show. Come on. Oh my gosh. Me, I'm in English.
Well, where can people find you on social media and get in touch with you?
Oh, so on Instagram, you can look at Juliana Tomlinson Photography. On Facebook, facebook.com/Juliana Tomlinson Photography. And my website, www.julianatomlinson. I don't even know my name. JulianaTomlinsonPhotography.com.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh,
thank you for joining us. I feel like you shared some really useful information for anyone listening. So I hope that you feel encouraged. I hope you feel inspired. Maybe if you're planning a wedding, you're going to go start Pinteresting all these ideas you have now, or just start Googling Juliana's website.
Yes, and you give that little Theo a hug from us.
Oh,
he is a lucky little boy. So thank you. And mamas, in case no one told you yet today, you are doing amazing.
Thank you so much for listening today. You are a part of a growing community of moms, business owners, and women who are here to encourage and inspire. You can connect with Rachel at Rachel Klein Creative on Instagram or rachelkleincreative.com. To keep up with Christine and her latest events, follow her business journey on Instagram at Bellenberry Co. And if you want to be first to know about upcoming guests and giveaways, sign up for the Thrive Podcast email list today. Simply visit rachelkleincreative.com/The Thrive Podcast or follow at The Thrive Podcast on Instagram. If you've enjoyed listening this week or you've already added our show to your favorites playlist, we'd love for you to write us a review on iTunes. Your support and positive feedback allows us to keep encouraging moms and business owners each week.